everybody. Pastor Mike here. Thank you again for involving yourself in the all-in study. And our prayer is that you are going all in with God. Last week we talked about legacy. You know, there are things that you cannot accomplish in your lifetime. It has to be accomplished in your lifeline. So, we are part of a church that is involved in legacy, and we are lifeline living. Today we're talking about trust, and I want to draw your attention over here to Hebrews chapter 11, verse number 8. For the Bible talks about it. It says, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went. He trusted God even though he did not know where he was going. Boy, that is one powerful verse there, because basically the Lord said, I want you to leave your place. I want you to leave your possession. I want you to leave your people. I got a plan that is going to blow your socks off, boy. A whole bunch of people are going to be blessed. But can you trust me? Can you trust me with my plan over your plans? That's a big statement. You know, Proverbs chapter 3 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge God in all of your ways, and He will make your paths straight. Can you trust the Lord with some plans outside of your plans? You know, let's talk about trust for a second, because we trust a lot of stuff every single day of our lives. We trust things that we can't even see. We're going to go home to our homes today. We're going to flip a light switch on because we trust the electricity is going to work. We do a lot of things like that. We call an Uber driver up and we trust him. Somebody we don't even know, we trust him to drive us around. We trust doctors. We trust people all the time wherever we go. But I want to draw your attention to a passage of scripture here in Genesis chapter number 13, where Abraham, he trusted God to get to the place. Now he's got a problem with his nephew Lot. Genesis chapter 13, verse number 8 says this, you, Lot, you take whatever land you want, and if you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I go to the left. Let me tell you about this passage of scripture. Abraham got so blessed when he trusted God for the plan for his life, and now he's at a crossroad. His herdsmen are quarreling with Lot's herdsmen, and they are having to split up because there's too much trouble. So Abraham goes outside and he says, Lot, whichever land you want to take the well-watered plains of Sodom, or you want to take the desert over by the Negev, whatever you want. Of course, Lot took, and he took Sodom, he took the well-water. He said, whatever you want, Lot. I'm not trusting in people. I am trusting in God. If you know anything about Abraham, he did not choose where he was going to be in life by places that look good. He chose where he was going to be in life by how he heard from God. So that's my question to you. Your back may be up against the wall. You may be in trouble. You may be very unfulfilled in life. But my bigger question is, can you trust God to do something that you've never done before? Can you trust God? I remember one of our missionaries years, decades ago, was working in Brazil, and she told the story of a lady in her little church that was down to nothing money. She's a widow. She had 4 children, no husband, had 0. And she sent her children off to school, and she goes, she's a praying woman, and she spends 2 hours with the Lord, because all she's got left is 20 cents, enough to buy a little carton of milk. You don't know how she's going to feed these kids when they get home. And the Lord spoke to her and said to her, go down to the El Dorado, huge supermarket. Go down to the El Dorado and fill up baskets of groceries enough for 3 months, and stand in checkout line number 7. You're a woman of faith. Now, what we're talking about here is trust. Can you trust God to do something crazy like that? She did. She goes down to the store and she fills 3 grocery baskets completely full of food. She does exactly what the Lord tells her to do. She gets in checkout line number 7, and all she's got is 20 cents. And the lady, the checkout lady, said, hey, I'm going to lunch. You'll have to go to the next counter. She said, you go to lunch, whatever you need to do, but I'm staying right here. That woman waited an hour in checkout number 7, and when the checker came back, she started checking her groceries out, and the lady was thinking, Lord, you need to come through here. All of a sudden, something came over the loudspeaker and said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 7th anniversary at El Dorado Supermarket. Whoever is standing in checkout line number 7, you get all of your groceries free today. She walked out with 3 months of groceries on a word that she heard from the Lord. My question is, what are you needing to trust God for? I spoke with a daddy last week, and he's really struggling with one of his sons. And I said, what's the Lord telling you? He prayed and he said, Pastor, the Lord told me to let my son go. He said, as long as you have your son in your hands, you are not releasing him to me to work on him like I want to work on him. You have to trust me, Scott. That's what his name was. You have to trust me to work on your son. I got a plan for your son, but you got to let him go. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we got to let go of some stuff, and we got to trust God. So I want you to turn to your booklets, your all-in booklets, and I want you to go to the trust area. We got some great questions there for you because I have a suspicion that God is wanting to trust you with something much bigger in your life. And so we need to answer the question, what is God trusting me with? What does he want to entrust me with? So, hey, I'll see you next time. Pastor Mike, thank you again for being in the all-in and going all in. God bless y'all.